Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
I said like we'll be covering the topic today, that is service. Now, this service now like it's a web service, right? And REST-based application. If you talk about a web service, right, basically how the web services is like, let's say, I want to call a mid-door or build a technology for my own company purpose, right? If I have my saving system, right, this is my salient, right? And the salient is consuming Hums application, right, for user onboarding purpose. And the user are onboarded through your user import, right? And we have 1000 plus user, and the 1000 plus user are present here in my saving system. Let's say, if you have seen Facebook, right, Facebook is a social media application, right, where you can create your own account, right? You can, databases, upload your picture or share some information, or, update something, and you can get together and hang with any of your friend, right? That is how the social media works. In the same way, you want to have a social media for your company. A company also, they have some social media, right, where employees to share their information and employees to share their thoughts, right? And employees also, share their promotion information, or employees also, share some facts, right? And any upcoming holiday. All this information has been shared in the of the cell. In our case, we are using a page called Habitat. This is like, if I wanted to play something or to use this application, right? There is one thing, this Habitat application, right? This application, it is there. They might build the application from scratch, right? They can build this complete application. If the application is present, only then I'll be able to consume it, right? Or I can create an account over there. This Habitat application, instead of right, how they are doing, they are building the scratch, right? They are writing the code, and they are, doing the testing of the code, right? And after testing happen, then it go to like live the production. And for this application, again, I need a server, right, to put this application and to make it live, including all this thing. There is a biggest cost factor involved, right? If I want to develop application and, test this application, right, make it as a live application, cost factor is there. That means I have to invest a lot of amount. For creating an application. and we need a proper coding guide, right? Or coding employee who knows Java, or your .NET who can write the code and build this application. This is too much again, right? It's a painful task. Again, buying a server or buying a place in the web to get your own server and host this application. Then only the application will be live, right? Or I can use the Azure cloud or your AWS cloud. Again, I have to buy the space here and I have to pay money here, right? This is like a lot of cost factor is coming to your picture, and you have to spend a lot of time as well as you know your amount of money. Again, you know time to time. That is why. What if I can request to Facebook and I can say, boss, whatever you are, the Facebook you are using, your backend code is the right. How you are using for creating an account, updating an account, deleting an account, right? If you can share that code with me or a piece of information with me that I can build, right? I can directly consume this thing, right? And I can manage all my create account, update account, delete account, right? Or all this thing I can manage with a piece of code. That piece of code, right? We call it as a service. What Facebook will do, rather than sharing the information, they will expose the API, application programming interface. This API, what they will, it will contain exactly a replica of their application, how the operation there do it. Self-registration page will be there. You will be going to Facebook. You will be creating your account, logging there, right? These kind of information or thing we can perform using the API which is given by Facebook. In return, what I'll do? I'll pay some money to, right, monthly basis, or you assist to Facebook. Tell me this is the first. The second step is easy or the first step is easy, right? The second step, it is very tedious for me, right? I'll be developing my own application from scars and deploying this application. Before that, right, a testing places that I have to hire the tester as well. And I have to hire a hire. I could apply someone for that server and to pay the money. But again, a lot of things rather than doing simply, if I can use the API, that is application programming. It's a piece of code again given by Facebook, right? Facebook will open this code and I'll consume this code. That is how. Nowadays, even in the real time was right. If you consider, Facebook has this service and they call it as a works placement, which we have already integrated in our company. This workforce meta, right? It is exactly the same replica of your Facebook. How you see it, but this thing, it is meant by your company only. Company employee can go there and register themselves on an invite basis, right? And they can do the operation. That is why people use the service. And this API, what they said, that is a REST API. Up to this much. Is it clear for you? Or any doubt here? I think it is a no. In the same way, right? What if I say, day-to-day basis what happened? If this is my company, right? Xerox company. The Xerox company, we are maintaining Saviynt in the place. The identity governance, right, for managing your company application. And we have our HMS application integrated with it. And through user input, we are getting the user and not what it here. And we have many applications. Let's say I have here application, right? I have and application. And I have some database application or some more application I have. This is my whole umbrella, right? Belongs to the company, right? And all this umbrella we have built up only for the purpose of our employee, right? Or your contractor purpose, right? Who are part of this? Company Xerox, who are working from the company. Every day they will come and they will consume this application. But let's say at some point of time, this employee are facing some issue. Right. If I face issue logging into LDAP application, what should I do? I don't know anybody, right, to whom I should contact. I should have a point of contact for raising a ticket, right? If I will be given a portal where I could mention first whatever issue you face, go to that portal and raise a ticket. Or I do not. If I raise a ticket, right, and the ticket will get assigned to the LDAP admin. And this LDAP admin, right, they can look up the system and they can resolve the issue and they will come back to me because your issue is resolved. That is why the purpose people use, right, ServiceNow. For a ticketing system as well as for a managed application. Basically, I can consume this service application for my ticketing tool as well. Let's see how we can consume the ServiceNow application as a LAST base. If I go right inside my VDI here, just I have to type I can set simple type ServiceNow, develop for inst. Hit enter. Just click on the second link and you will be coming back to your sign-in model. Click on the sign in to sign up thing. Just search where the sign up button is there. Am I seeing the sign up button, right? No, right? Then let me go back. First I have to create an account here. Although I have the account, that's why. It is asking me directly to the login. This is for sign in. I should go for the sign up. When the sign up button is let me go back once too. Go to the ServiceNow.com and see. If I found here, this is for your sign-in to existing account. I think the page has changed now. That's why. A lot of discrepancy I can see. The episode is now happening. Again, now I got the thing right. You have to create an account. If I click here, let me give my email ID here. In the same window, try to access ServiceNow.com. Developer instance, hit enter. Come back to the second link. You are right. And here click on the sign button. We got sign in right because I click on there and it took my ad because I log into the first instance, right. Now it is asking, do you code? I will say I need a guide experience. I click on developer and here write ID admin finish setup. Once you do the setup, you see there is a button here, request instance right. Just click here. Once you click that here, basically what it is doing, it is creating an instance for you, or it will generate API for you, right? Once you go inside that, you can see the API. Let the instance build up, right? Prior to that, let it come. Wait for a minute and let it come. Basically, this is a ServiceNow free tool for you, right? When you work for a company or a real life company, this instance already, it will be buy by someone. That will be a paid version. You can see the instance. It will be readily available for you. And you can consume that instance for your save. It's taking some time to build up the instance. It will basically create. Exactly click on the developer instance for you. You can view the ticket information, your user information. All the details will be there. In the meantime, I'll go to the other menu and let me download the Postman as well. Why the Postman it is required and why it is important. I'll talk about that. I'll click on the Windows 64-bit right and let me download it. If I go to the download Postman, go download, double click on it. Basically, it is installing the Postman in your system, right? It is still building up the instance. It takes some time. Why I require this Postman, right? We talk about, right, how we can consume the API, right? And this Facebook instance, right? They have exposed the API for you. That API, using that API, I can build my own application, right, for my company. Right? Before building the API for the company or building this API and connecting to your saving environment. What API they have given by the Facebook, right? You should know or you should make sure what API they have connected, right? It is correct. It is accurate. And you can make a connection successful to this API. And you sort of have idea what operation you are going to follow, right? If you can see API, right, you should know all this thing. And once you test all this thing, right, then only you will get to confirm, right, that the Facebook, whatever the API they have said, that is correct and accurate. But before you prepare this thing and connect to your application and to a real-time integration, right, you don't know, right, how the things looks like and everything. For that, there is a software available that is called Postman, right? Using that, you can do end-to-end testing of this application. And once you feel right, this application is good and everything looks correct for me. Directly, after that you can integrate with your CVN system. Because when you do a connectivity, right, from Saviynt to this API, whatever they have said, right, unless you perform an actual operation, only for connectivity purpose, you can test it. It will always show success. It always shows success, whether it fail or doesn't matter. Because that is a web service. Web service reside in your right third-party server. And if you try to put a connect, right, It won't reach unless you do an operation. What do you mean by operation? Until unless I create a user, right? I create a user to save into the target system, it won't be reachable. Right? And to create a JSON user, right? You have to prepare a lot of things for your JSON, and by the time, right? You don't write notice that you know there is a failure connectivity. Lot of thing in your right in the first place. You cannot test that application connectivity. For that you got a lot of time. That is why it is always advisable. Once you got the API, using the Postman tool, right, on there itself. Within fraction of minute, you can test the API, whether that API is correct or not. And we have the connectivity or not. For that purpose, any kind of REST application, any kind of REST API or application, you can test it to the Postman. And once you see the result in your API or in the Postman, then you get to agree that you know this application is, and it is ready to consume by my Saviynt. That is the purpose being used. The instance is ready. Now it to write, and this is my username. They have given as creator. I should get an admin credential. This is not the actual thing for an open instance. Some kind of, miscommunication happened. I should have received an admin user. This is user. Doesn't have the permission. It takes little time to load the page. See if I open the instance, right. Here it is loading the App Engine Studio. That means basically it will show you how the service now looks like. Now let us load the server, taking some time. Main. Let me open. This now AD is open. Let me close the AD instance. Let me close the data risk. Auth table, auth experience. I got kind of no, this is not the true application. It's kind of template it gave me. Looks correct, only but I don't know why I got that instance. Let me sign out from here. ServiceNow developer. Developer instance. If I click on the sign in, let me see how it goes. Basically, I want to let you know how to create account. This account I have, right? If I try to log in, right? Sign in will happen, but it will let you know the other instance, which already I have that right. It is the same way. I have a different email ID, but let me see if I can create a fresh account here. Here you see, right before going to sign and sign up on the start building this button, I believe. Let me access it again. Developer. ServiceNow. Inst. Hit enter. Go to the second URL. Instead of signing, I have to go sign up on start building. Let me click here. This is the perfect correct window, and I'll be giving my email ID here. What email This is my first email. And country, I'll be choosing again here. India password I'll be giving. And confirm password. I'm not a robot. Click on the condition and sign up. Let me save this. Instant. Need to get an ID? You can click Next ID admin and accept it and finish setup. Let me check the user ID right, it is proper or not. Now I can click on the request instance. Click here again. Refresh the instance. Where the instance went? I didn't see that actually. If I go to start building, instance is ready now. Click on the My App search here. Why it is coming to see user? I don't understand here. I've been seeing it a lot. Ideally, it should give me to log into the things have been changed or what now? The people changing the install. It looks like something else for me. It says here incident table will come. No, it's not coming at all. I go to my manage instance. This is not clear. To instance, it is coming for me. Let me log into my another currency. How it comes? Sign on the profile. I'll give you the instance username password. You can log into that. Let me sign in. Not the same. I'll be this email ID. Maybe they have changed something. That's why it looks totally different now. If I come to this instance now, right? I'll request the instance. You see this admin user is coming right, I believe. Some problems is the user case. And you can use this credential right. Go to service instance right. I'll give you the credential. You can log into this instance. Let me see why the new instance, when I create, why it is taken to the other instance. Now, if I try to load this right, you will see a holistic view of the application. Close the application. Close it. See, it should be the art engine. It should look like this, not like that. And here in another admin user right now, what I can do if I click on write. If I go like incident write, I can see all the instances listed over here, which is already by default. Some incident, right? When we have an issue, we used to raise incident. If I go to the all, right click on the all, we can see all the instance or incident being created here. Let me open the ServiceNow developer guide right, and I will show you. Go to the document, and here I will have the rest of the integration guide right. We don't have the ServiceNow integration guide. Let me go on login and search. Save it. Certified connector. Click on the link. And here it will be listed all your I am interested in ServiceNow. Scroll down a little bit. This is the standard connector right. I will be going to the ServiceNow. Open the ServiceNow. Once you are in the service, now right if it's going left side. There is this thing ServiceNow as a manager. Click here. This document will give you all the details how you can configure the rest to this application and everything. This is for creating a connection right. And once you prepare the connection, how we can? We're preparing the connection, JSON, everything. Before that, right. I talk to you once I have the instance right. I need to test it right. How we can test that? Let's see. It is asking for me to sign in. Let me sign into here, right? ServiceNow. Go to your right. And if you scroll down a little bit, or let me go to the now right, and here. How the instance or the things looks like. That is the. Let me close this Postman. Now I have loaded into my Postman instance. If I go here, or workspace, right? Let me see. I have already the workspace. You can create a workspace here and this is my whole API, right? Application what I have integrated to now. These are my node or the Respite application. If I open any of you the ServiceNow integration, right? Let me open it. Right. How will you see the create ticket? Basically, I'm giving your URL, whole name, everything here. Let me create a new instance here for a new collection. Click on the here new collection. I'll be giving the name here, training. ServiceNow. After I create the collection, right? Let me expand it. I do not have any request. Click on the three dot. Add a request, right? I'll give the request like you know. Create a column. Let's see, just give a look at the document portal, how it looks for the request. The document portal, we open it here, right? If you scroll over right, this is for the connectivity. It is telling me. We give it back here. These are like JSON. They have the sample JSON for the connectivity and what URL they're using. Just have a look. Let me just drag it right. This is they're doing for the catalog item, but we are interested in not in the catalog item. If I scroll little down, what they have given here, I need for the table C was a table. Basically, I want to create a user and get back the user data as well to my application. For that, I'll be leveraging this URL. A little scroll up, scroll down. This is the table which I will be leveraging for my user, right? If I copy this URL, right? And what it is telling, this is for import account system. Basically, what user I have here in the service, my instance. Let me go to the CC user table, right? You will see it. Let me give tables type double. Here it goes in the service, my instance. Go to table. Right, once you are in the table, type here ss underscore user. And hit enter. You landed up in the user table. Click on the user table. This is a user table. Looks like right. How the user's reference and all the things, and it has the column right. All this column. Like email, your date format, everything. How you can get the data? If you go right here, click here, type a simple user, right? And click on the users. You see all this user like Apple, Turtler and Abraham Lincoln. All this user are embedded to this application. You have 62 user as of now. And to utilize this table, right? What format do we need? The format would be right. It is residing under the domain. What is our domain name? We'll come to that. Let me simply copy this URL first. Once I copy this URL, I'll go to my Postman. Let me create a new request here. Instead of create ticket first, I'll go for the get user detail. And I am typing here the URL. This domain name, what is my domain name? Right? If I go back to this instance in the first service, now you are right. When it said your instance is ready, close this thing. Simply go to your instance here, right? In your service, now instance, I need to get the credential first to log in this account, right? This account, what you see, I have logged in as admin, right? This ServiceNow instance, it has the credential. I need to get the credential. Where you can get the credential? Come back to the second post tab. Click here manage instance password. And if you scroll little above, basically this is your instance, URL. Dep14249 ServiceNow come. Copy this instance URL. Go to your Postman, right? Up to ServiceNow come, right? Up to this, you have to replace it. And remove one slash. And API now table CCG, this will be fine, right? Because all the information are same. Now you have to use a user credential. That is your username, right? Type here. Either we have to pass in the header information. This admin or I will try the body. Let me try the body and see what happens. Or let me try the post header only. Username. I am giving the username right. And password. I will be giving this password. And what is the password? Copy this password right. And let me send and see what happens here. It is telling user is not authenticated. What else information I require right? You know your admin username password I gave, but still it is telling you cannot log into the instance. Maybe I require some more information. If I go to the URL right and check back here, what else information it is asking in the connection? If I scroll little above, it is getting the access from the authentication token. If I go to this above connection JSON, right? This is your connection JSON. Here I see username and password. Those two things are required. And that is the thing I believe. Why it is not allowing me to the connect? Let me open the other URL. What I have passed here? I am passing the content type I saved and X user token as well. That thing is not required to get the ticket. Connection directly. I am passing all the value here. In the website, I believe I can see the. Let me go to the trouble again. Date. Alt date. There is something to build the application. I believe here. This underscore user type it. And the user table right. Here you have the Explore REST API for this application. If I click on the Explore REST API right, this is your REST API and let me explore it. And the same instance, this is asking right. And what are the information? I can record if I give this. And this is your CCS user, CCS ID is asking right. And all this information like application JSON response format. Or if I try to create a record, let me give some value. This is seen as new add header of the body. Add a field here. This value it is not required. The body value I'll be adding city, let's say. Just put it. And I'll be adding another parameter. Let me write some email. And what is the information I can pass here? First name, right? These are the value I'm sending, and if I try to send it, let me see what happened here. All this information are generated here. And now this is telling the user is created. Basically, if I go ahead back and click on the user, and yes, it tweeted. One record created. Now what I'm doing here, we discuss about here. Right. The Facebook application, which was here, right? And they were exposing a API. And using this REST API, I was trying to write this thing through the Postman first. For the testing purpose, right? I required the API details. What all API they have provided. What is the URL? What is the username for that URL? What is the password? And what all operation or what all field I need to pass, right? Those things basically I am. For that what I did actually, right? I said I'll be creating a user, right? For that simply I went to alright. And instead of here I type here. Once you type to the table and go to the tables, right? My idea is to drop the things in your user table. To create the users, I type here simple sys_user and open the user table. Once you open the user table, if you scroll down right to the down, you see there is a explore REST API. Basically for this instance or to create a table here, it has already defined a explore REST API. That REST API, I am trying to explore it. If I try to explore this REST API, right, how it looks like? It is giving me the option to retrieve a record or create a record. Basically to create a record, right? If I click on the create record, what option it is? Again, see it is dumping the record into the sys user table. And what parameter it is asking? Format is application JSON and application JSON. And what format I was passing? I was passing the information like city. And the city value I am giving like Karnataka. And I am typing here what company I work for. I am giving like Ericsson. And one more column I am adding here, right? What is my email? This three thing I am passing here, right? And if you look at the, let me open the instance, right? See how many incidents are created. I am not still saying the incident. If I go back right to my window and type here, incident or users, right, users, and go to the user, you see the total 622 user is created, right? Now if I go back, passing all this main function and click on same, right, and click on, you see it is telling that 2D1 means it is created. And if I go to this window and refresh it, right, you will see 623 user will be created now. 622 user was there. The new user with my email ID is 09999. Whatever I pass, that got created. What data I passed here? This data I passed. Basically, this is a representation of REST API, how it looks. All this information we are drawing to use now, right, while creating user in my Postman. I will give a test to this API first. Now, right, go here. And where we created our project. This is our project, right? We created inside that, go for the first, create account. Let me go. And go back, copy this URL. And type the URL here. What is the type it is telling? This is post. We will post. And what else it is accepting? One parameter. This is a header. You have to go to the header and pass this asset value and what it is accepting. Basically application JSON. Let me pass the application JSON and content type. Again, I have to pass this content type is also a right. It is application JSON. See, you see another variable over here. That is X-user token. What is this token? Basically, this token is provided to securely connect to your website. See, I am trying to create a user and the user is creating here or here, right here in between. There is a chance the malfunctioning can happen. Anybody can take your request and decode it. That is why we are traveling through a secure path. Using this token only will be able to connect to this application. That is why this token value is given. Now give the token value here. After giving this value, see, this is your request body, what we are passing here. Copy the whole request body. Come back to your body parameter. In the body parameter, there is a wrong button. If the right click on the row and pass all this information, ideally how it should be, give enter here, seat equal to Karnataka. Give enter here and email. Give enter here and closing enter here. Just give it back. These are the information I am trying to pass here. If I go back right, and let me see what else I can pass. If I try to pass another field, let us say I am passing gender, right? Gender information I can pass. This is how it is in the gender. I can come back, give a comma here. Give double quote. Pass the attribute gender. And give it colon. And the double slash. I can pass it as a male. And the email ID I can pass another double run. And let me simply click on send now. It is telling unauthorized. The headers are saved here also. We have been doing. Does it using any other things? I believe it required your username and password to log into that currency. If I go to enter right, let me go to the API Explorer. I believe I have to pass this username and password as well. And password as it is possible. And that address required this. And password word. I can give this instance password. And type it and save it. Now let me send it. Still required to provide auth information. Authentication is there. I believe, then why it is not allowing? This is my admin and password. This is correct only. And what API responsive we got it here. User. API is the same. JIT. System is blocking or what? I don't see any issue here. Maybe the system is on the parallel in the inside the box. Is maybe blocking it to connect? All this thing we're passing right. I saved content type. Its case. Using this token alone, it should be able to connect. Let me see. How do I pass for me on the project? I am passing here all this information in the body. Brand type, plant ID plants. The console. Personal console. It's good only where it then breaking. Guys, let me see why it is not connecting. I may need to set up something else and will continue to move on the same topic from here. We'll try to visit why the connection is not happening. I believe some kind of problem is there, or authentication process is not happening. Because layer connection it is there, there is no issue. If I go to my collection right, where I got B error connection, still I have not enabled it actually. That's why right. We required to enable one more thing for the B error connection. If I go here right, in the ServiceNow tool, it's using only this thing. And if I go to the ARK token, ARK token, that is that sort of trait, it is not still there, but I can do that. Let me see. I was able to cover later on. This application is to partner is, OAuth token. Let me do that and see whether that worked for me. Create OAuth API endpoint for XML and give me a name like, test API. Some name I'm giving and it will generate a token for me. Let me put all applications for submitted. Test API is there right. If I open this, now what it will do? It has generated a client aid and client secret for me right. Now in the here, if I try to create a add request, and this is basically, it will look first for the connection purpose. I'm giving a name as connection only, right? And this will be always post right. And I have to keep this client added client secret value. What else I can give here? Right. Let me give the URL first right. What will be the URL? This URL, it will be coming from this instance developer service com. And after giving this URL, I can give this client ID. Basically, this is my client ID, client underscore I, and this will be my client secret. Let me copy that. we need some more parameter, right? What is the parameter? If you go back here, this asset model is required. Basically, I have the telling asset of the different JSON. Your content type is required. And your username is also required to connect to that. That is your admin and password. If I go back, I'm talking about this username password, right? Or this one, not admin and password. If I give all this information right, let me see. Oh, I have passed everything in the params. It should be an authorization or header. Again, I think it will be an example. It sent it, but it didn't generate token because I believe I need to pass all this information in the body. Instead of params, this thing is required to pass in body itself. This client D, then only it will generate an authentication token for me, auth token. But I believe client ID. This is your client's secret. And what else we are passing? Asset parameter. This rest is like a little complexity. As you know, the connectivity is the only option. Once the connection happens, that means you are ready to go for rebuilding your application. And type is your application. And username is your. All this information, it will be there in the document, I believe. Give the password right. And what password? I can provide this password. I'm not taking anything from the params. I'm passing everything in the body itself. And let me activate everything. Now let me say hello. This is really content. Type is invalid. Should be applications only. Content type. The content type itself, it's telling it is not valid. What content type I have used here? Let me see. I'm using your client ID client secret username password only grant type. And that is the connection. If I go to the document, what else they are passing here in the document? The connection part. And they are using the username password. this is basic authentication. We don't require we have the oath to pen. Client, I declined secret right. Content type also, they are passing this content type. And this will come to the second place while we prepare the JSON. But we should have the connectivity in the place. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.